Hola amigos, muy buenos días, buenos días. Today we're going to continue with our video series, lectures. We will be lecturing section 3 of chapter 7, la sección 3 del capítulo 7. La sección 3 del capítulo 7. Now I've got to tell you, I actually recorded this lecture, but I got it confused with a future chapter. So, in chapter 9, section 5, for that video, I might refer to this chapter and this section. Just disregard it. The video, the lecture is correct. I just called it by the wrong name. So again, chapter 9, section 5. If I refer to chapter 7, section 3, I misspoke. The video's good, the lecture's good, I just got the numbers wrong. So today, we're all figured out el capítulo 7, la sección 3. Chapter 7, section 3. Time expressions with the verb hacer. Okay, if you look, how do I start here? You remember the verb hacer. Hacer, to make or to do. Okay, we're going to learn how to express time expressions with the verb hacer, right? But just quickly remind me how to conjugate this verb, the verb hacer. Let's just conjugate it, present tense. Yo, what? You remember? Yo hago, tú haces, él, ella, usted hace, nosotros hacemos, ellos, ellas, ustedes hacen. Okay? There are our conjugations of the verb hacer. Now, when we talk about time in Espanol, time is something that's made. The verb hacer, to make or to do, right? Time is something that is made. Time isn't necessarily something we have, I guess maybe kind of in the sense that we say, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. We can use those corresponding verbs in Espanol, right? But time is something that's made in the sense, right? And so if you think about it, am I responsible for time? Do I make time? Wouldn't that be great, right? No, I don't. How about you? Are you time? Or are you responsible for time? Is time you? Are you time? No, of course not, right? Whoops. Sorry. Of course not. You are not time either, right? How about us, nosotros, we? Are we time? No, we're not time, right? Or third person plural, they or you all. Are you all time? They time? No, of course not, okay? And likewise, even over here, third person singular, he and she. He is not time, she is not time either, but remember, third person singular is he, she, it. Time is an it, right? It is time. Time is it, right? So when we talk about this formula we're about to learn with this particular expression of time, we're going to be using the third person singular conjugation of the verb hacer, hace. Okay? So let's take a look at that formula a little bit more closely. And if you want, in your book, in el libro, estamos en la página 208. Estamos en la página 208. 208. I may even refer the wrong page number in this future lesson, chapter 9, verse or section 5, right? But again, I repeat, when you get to chapter 9, section 5, I may have misquoted the page number, I may have misquoted the chapter and section, but the lecture's still good. We're still good, okay? And you'll see how similar they are once you get there. Anyway, en la página 208, if you want to follow along this formula. Where the first element of our formula is this third person singular conjugation of the verb hacer. Hace, it makes. What makes time makes. Okay? To that, we are going to add a length of time. A particular length of time. It could be 3 days, 5 weeks, 7 hours, 20 minutes, whatever. Length of time. To that, we're going to add the 3-letter word que. And to that, we're going to add a verb. But this verb will be conjugated in the present tense. In the present tense, okay? And this formula, we're going to get some practice with it. You're going to see that as we plug things into this formula, what we're communicating is this idea of since. Since. It's been 3 weeks since I started the semester, or I know we're in our first week, but anyway, or it's been 3 years since I have been involved in the study of Spanish. This idea of since, right? That's what this formula communicates. All right? So I'm going to leave that up on the board. Let's rewrite this formula and let's get some practice of how we can plug things in to make this expression of the idea since using the elements of our formula here. All right, so we've got, again, third person singular conjugation of the verb hacer, hace. Right here, let's make a list of lengths of time, different lengths of time. For example, we might want to say something like 2 minutes. 2 minutos. 2 minutos. All right? How about 8 días? 8 días. 8 days. All right? 8 days. 3 semestres. 3 semestres. 3 semesters. It's been 3 semesters, right? Since whatever we do, okay? How about 10 años? 10 años. All right, 10 años. We have room for a couple more. 4 semanas. 4 semanas. 4 weeks. Right? 4 weeks. And now maybe, I don't know, 5 meses. 5 meses. 5 months. Here we have different lengths of time. We're going to use these, plug these into our formula, weave things together, see how it works. Okay, to this, the next element of our formula, we have that 3-letter word que. Okay. And then we have to, over here, let's make a list of verbs, things that we do, or things that we've done since, or however long since we've been doing whatever it is we've been doing, all right? So let's just make a list of verbs. We'll conjugate these verbs as we go. Let's just make a list of verbs. How about comer? Comer. How about the verb comer? You remember, to eat, right? How about estudiar? Estudiar, to study, right? Trabajar. Trabajar, to work. Let's see, what are some other verbs? How about escribir? Escribir, to write. Escribir. Hablar, to speak. That's a good standby. Hablar. And how about, I don't know, any other ideas for verbs? How about vivir? Vivir. Okay? All right, so here we have the elements of our formula. Third person singular conjugation of the verb hacer, hace, it makes, time makes, right? However much time we're talking about, length of time. Our 3-letter word que, which would be the kind of the equivalent of that. It's been 3 weeks that, or this idea of since, right? And then whatever it is we've been doing, however long since it's been since we've been doing whatever it is we're doing, different verbs, okay? Now we'll conjugate these verbs. Remember, let's go back to the formula. It's imperative to remember the verbs must be conjugated in the present tense, okay? The only reason I mention this is because, again, in Chapter 9, Section 5, we're going to visit this formula again, only we're going to change the tense in which the verb is conjugated. We're not going to conjugate it in the present tense, we're going to conjugate it in the past tense, and that's going to change the idea of communicating this idea of since to communicating the idea of ago. How long ago something was done in the past, you see? But not to get too far ahead of ourselves, we'll review that when we get to Chapter 9, Section 5, okay? But for right now, we're talking about this idea of since, how long since we've been doing whatever it is we've been doing. Therefore, the verb is conjugated in the present tense, okay? Like I said, we're going to revisit this formula again. The only change we're going to make is that we're going to conjugate the verb in the past tense, which will change the idea from since to ago, how long ago something was done, okay? Anyway, back to our formula. There's the formula. And you can see we've met all of the factors of our formula. Again, we've got our third person singular conjugation of the verb hacer, hace, plus our length of time, plus que, plus whatever verb it is that we're going to do. So let's say I wanted to say, it's been 2 minutes. It's been 2 minutes since I write, or since I have written something on the board, right? 2 minutes since I have written something, or 2 minutes since I write something on the board, all right? So let's just weave that together and see what that might sound like. Hace 2 minutos que yo, what? Escribo. We got to conjugate the verb. que yo escribo. Hace 2 minutos que yo escribo en la pizarra, chalkboard or smartboard or whatever this board, right? Hace 2 minutos que yo escribo en la pizarra. It makes 2 minutes that or since I write or I have written something on the board. You see how that works? We're just weaving things together. This idea of since. It's been 2 minutes since, or it makes 2 minutes that or since I have written something on the board. Okay? Let's do it again. What if I wanted to say it's been 8 days? It's been 8 days since I speak to my, or since I have spoken to my sister, right? She lives in Alabama. Try to call her every so often, right? But it's been 8 days since I have spoken with my sister. What might that sentence sound like? How about hace 8 días que yo hablo con mi hermana. Que yo hablo con mi hermana. Hace 8 días que yo hablo con mi hermana. It makes 8 days that or since I speak or I have spoken to my sister. You see, we're just filling things into the formula, okay? What if I wanted to say it's been 3 semesters since let's tell you what, let's conjugate this verb in the nosotros form. In the nosotros. We don't have to do everything in the yo form. In the nosotros. It's been 3 semesters since we have studied our Spanish. I hope you haven't let 3 semesters go by since you've studied your Spanish. But just for the sake of argument for our sample sentence. It's been 3 semesters since we have studied, or we could think of it in terms that we've been at this for 3 semesters. It's 3 semesters since we began our study of the Spanish language. Anyway, let's fill in the formula, plug things in, and see how that sentence might sound. Let's do this. Hace 3 semestres que nosotros estudiamos. Well, here, let me scoot the word over a little bit. Scoot the word over a little bit. Now I have room. Estudiamos. Hace 3 semestres que estudiamos español. Literally, it makes 3 semesters that or since we study or we've been studying Spanish. I guess that's a better way to think of it. We've been at this for 3 semesters as opposed to it's been 3 semesters, right? Sense. Anyway. Hace 3 semestres que estudiamos español. Literally, it makes 3 semesters that we study or since we study the Spanish language. We have studied the Spanish language, okay? All right, so let's keep going. You get it? We're just filling in, plugging in to our formula. How about it's been 10 years? It's been 10 years since you have lived in Mexico, let's just say. I don't know, been 10 years since you, will conjugate the verb in the you form. Tú. 10 years since you've been living in Mexico. What might that sentence sound like? Hace 10 años que tú, what? Hace 10 años que tú vives en México. Hace 10 años que tú vives en México. Literally, it makes 10 years that you live in Mexico, or 10 years since you have been living in Mexico. All right? Okay, muy bien. What if I wanted to say it's been 4 weeks? It's been 4 weeks that I've, well, let's conjugate this verb. How about we conjugate this verb in the 3rd person singular? We'll make it he. He eats. It's been 4 weeks since he's been eating at the same restaurant, whatever, right? What might that sentence sound like? Let's get a different color if we can. Here, maybe we'll try, what color should we try? We'll try red. Oh, there we go, we got red right there. Anyway, all right. It's, what do we say? It's been 4 weeks that he has been eating, or since he's been eating at the same restaurant. Hace 4 semanas que él, what? Que él come en el mismo restaurante. Hace 4 semanas que él come en el mismo restaurante. It makes 4 weeks that, or since he eats or has been eating at the same restaurant. Okay? And last but not least, how about 5 months? What do we have left? The verb trabajar. It's been 5 months since, let's do this in the plural, the third person plural, since they have worked. I don't know where they've worked, at the hospital. I don't know, whatever, right? Yeah. It makes 5 months that they have been working at the hospital, or 5 months since they've been working at the hospital. Let's use, maybe we'll use yellow again. Hace 5 meses que, whoops, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. Hace 5 meses que, let me fix this. Hace 5 meses que ellos trabajan en el hospital, right? Hace 5 meses que ellos trabajan en el hospital. Anyway, you can see how we've weaved together elements of our formula, right? Going back to the formula, again, it's a third person singular, conjugation of the verb hacer, hace, it makes time, however much time is being made. To that we add our length of time, however much time we're talking about. To that we add the 3-letter word que. Don't forget the que. I will tell you, when students work with this particular formula, it's very easy. I mean, you get excited about manipulating lengths of time and conjugating verbs. It's like you almost forget the que. Don't forget the que. Don't forget it. Okay? Make sure it's there. And then after that, we add what the verb, whatever it is we're doing. But remember, the verb is conjugated in the present tense. All of this communicates this idea of since. How long it's been since you've been doing something. Not how long ago you did something. That's past tense. And again, that's what we're going to get to, chapter 9, section 5. Same formula, only we're going to conjugate the verb in the past tense and talk about how long ago something was done, past tense, communicating this idea of ago. But with the verb conjugated in the present tense, the formula as we're looking at it now communicates this idea of since. Okay? All right, so anyway, maybe replicate this chart. Tell you what, in the book, en la página 209, la práctica 20, there's a pretty good activity. We've got some illustrations of Marta and Beto who are dancing. And it says, it looks like they've been dancing for 20 minutes, 20 minutos. The next illustration, we have Eva. Looks like she lives there on Lima Street. And then a time period of 3 años. She's lived there for 3 years, right? And then we've got Ana and Luis and Paco. Looks like they're standing in a party, standing around visiting with each other. And the time frame given is 1 hora. They've been visiting for an hour. Anyway, take this particular activity. Use the people. Use the lengths of time that are given, right? Be creative. Come up with a verb, right? They're dancing. She has lived there. They're conversing, right? Or it looks like Jose is studying. Or the little boy, Jorge, is sleeping. Anyway, come up with a verb, but use these people, use these places, use these lengths of time, okay? And plug them into your formula and see how you do. Plug them into the formula and see how you do. Look, there's the formula right there. Give that an attempt. If you have any questions, let me know. Let Cliff know. We're available to answer questions, okay? Maybe we'll get another video, maybe some video of Cliff running through that practice session just to make sure you got everything put in the right place. But give it a try with that Práctica 20 en la página 209. Give that a try. Give that a try and see how you do, right? Plug in your length of time, figure out a verb, whatever it is they're doing, and tell me how long it's been since these people have been doing whatever it is they're doing. Give it a try. Good luck. If you have any questions, let me know. That's it for now. Gracias. Adios.